All right, let's get right into this. We're looking at a pretty incredible story coming out of a German school, where students are flipping the script on right-wing extremism. And they're not just talking about online hate. No, they are actively fighting back. And their weapon of choice? Artificial intelligence. The project kicks off with this incredibly powerful statement. These are literally the first words in their handbook, and wow, do they set the tone. This tells you right away this isn't some dry academic exercise. This is an urgent response to a threat that's very, very real. So to really get why this project is so critical, we first have to understand the battlefield. And that battlefield is the digital world, where extremists are getting smarter and smarter about how they target young people. See, modern propaganda isn't always the loud, obvious stuff you might imagine. It's way more subtle now. It kind of whispers. It gets woven into the very fabric of youth culture through memes, inside jokes, and even mimicking the look and feel of popular influencers. It makes it incredibly hard to spot. It all starts with things that seem harmless on the surface. You've got number codes that are actually hateful slogans. You've got memes like Pepe the Frog that were totally innocent once, but have been completely hijacked. Then there's this so-called ironic humor, which is a classic gateway to slowly make extremist ideas feel normal. They slip into the places young people trust, like TikTok feeds and gaming communities, and they offer this false sense of belonging to kids who might feel a bit lost. Take the number 88, for example. You could see that in a username or a comment and just scroll right past it. But for those in the know, it's a stand-in for Heil Hitler, because H is the 8th letter of the alphabet. These codes create a kind of secret language, an in-group, that makes extremism seem exclusive and alluring, and that's how they pull people in. And none of this is by accident. There's a playbook. It's a pretty insidious, step-by-step process. First, they lure you in with a funny meme or something relatable. Then the ideas start to get a little bit edgier, a little more radical, but it's all wrapped up in irony, so you can't call it out. Pretty soon, you're isolated in these private groups where everyone's repeating the same ideas, and any criticism from the outside world is just dismissed as an attack. It's a Okay, but this is where the story pivots. This is where we stop talking about the problem and start looking at a really creative solution. Let's talk about the KI-Musik project. So at its heart, KI-Musik, that's German for AI against Nazis, is a school project from the Schule. But it's so much more than that. It mashes up political science, media smarts, and art. And the goal isn't just to teach kids about AI. It's to empower them to actually use it as a tool for democracy, for activism, for fighting back. And this right here, this is their whole philosophy. It's such a powerful idea. It reframes AI from this scary, uncontrollable force into what it is, a tool. And like any tool, its purpose is defined by who's using it. And in this case, they've decided to make its purpose actively anti-fascist. And you can just feel that defiant energy in this image, can't you? It's got that raw street art vibe. This isn't just a picture, it's a statement. It's what happens when students take simple lines of text, prompts, and turn them into a full-blown creative counterattack. So, what does this counterattack actually look like? What are the weapons in their creative arsenal? Well, let's dive into the specific AI tools these students are mastering. They're really using the whole shebang. For visuals, they're firing up image generators like DALL-E to make these incredible posters. For the written word, ChatGPT is helping them craft everything from fiery slam poetry to thoughtful essays. But it doesn't stop there. They're using Suno to produce entire songs, music, lyrics, the works. And with Sora, they're creating videos to debunk extremist lies. They're even building their own online courses to teach others. And just look at the results. Here are two fantastic examples. On one side, you've got this gritty, dreckiger street art stenciled style. That's what they call it. It looks like something you'd see sprayed on a wall. On the other side, a completely different, more imaginative style, but with that same clear anti-racist message. It just shows how versatile they're getting with these tools. But this project goes deeper than just making cool AI art. It's really grounded in a very clear, very bold philosophy. You have to take a stance. Neutrality is not an option. And it forces you to ask this really fundamental question, right? When you're confronted with ideologies that are built on dehumanizing other people, is staying neutral even a moral choice? And the project's answer is a loud and clear no. They make the point that being neutral in the face of racism is basically the same as being okay with it. Racism isn't just another opinion to be debated in some marketplace of ideas. No, they say, it's a fundamental failure of our humanity. It's not a position you debate. It's a problem you fight.
And this right here really hammers that point home. The idea of race might be a social construct, sure, but the hate and violence that come from racism are devastatingly real. They have real victims, real consequences. And because the threat is real, the response has to be real. Active opposition.
Now, here's maybe the most important part. This whole thing was never meant to just stay inside the walls of one school. The final piece of the puzzle is to spark a true digital uprising, a movement that anyone can join. The creators have made everything, and I mean everything, open source. The worksheets, the tutorials, the lesson plans, it's all online for any teacher, any school, anywhere in the world to download, adapt, and run with. It's designed from the ground up to be replicated and expanded. And by making their art and their message public, the students learn this incredibly valuable lesson. Their voice matters. They're taking their ideas out into the world and seeing that their creations have real power. They can actually inspire other people to stand up and join them. So ultimately, that's the transformation we're talking about. This project is all about shifting young people from being just passive consumers of whatever the internet feeds them to becoming active creators and shapers of the digital world. It's about giving them the tools to build the kind of democratic, diverse, and supportive society they actually want to live in. And that really leaves us with this final, critical question. The project's handbook ends with the line, "Democracy needs every voice, yours too." It's a powerful reminder that in this digital age, we all have a microphone, we all have a platform. So the question isn't whether or not we have a voice, but how are we choosing to use it?